Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Anna Tony, and I am the Executive Director here at Leadership Toledo. I would like to thank our sponsors for supporting this unique event this year. So you can see all of them listed below here. It takes a lot of community support to help make the work Leadership Toledo does possible. So without them, we really couldn't have the impact that we do in the community. It goes without saying that 2020 has provided its challenges in more ways than one, and I know all of you feel that as well. It really has imposed on us this need to be flexible and to pivot quickly. Like so many things in all of our lives, it's looked very different here at Leadership Toledo the past 7 months. First off, I am talking to you this morning from my computer in my office instead of our normal 500-person event where we're all slammed in at the Renaissance and networking and enjoying breakfast and coffee and connecting with, all these exciting people, and we have our youth there as well. So that's obviously very different for us. Most notably, for the first time in over 40 years, Leadership Toledo is not hosting its signature adult program. That is huge. That program is the foundation on which we were built upon. Thankfully, our youth programs, all of which are tuition free for high school students, are moving forward with in-person meetings. Youth Leadership Toledo, our program for high school sophomores, has been split into 2 smaller groups, and our youth philanthropy program, also known as YIPPY, is generally a smaller group. So we've been able to do that safely, taking all the necessary precautions, masks and social distancing, and making sure that we are outside as much as possible. So we're really getting our time in at the Metro Parks, which is great. We're lucky to have such an incredible Metro Park system in our area. If you would have talked to myself and the staff here at Leadership Toledo, we would have told you that we had really big plans to have more student conferences to engage with more students throughout the year. Because we know that leadership development is something that schools are hungry for and that students are hungry for. That all being said, what we could have done, what we would have done, what we used to do, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. What does matter, though, is what we've learned from this time. And there's one major lesson that I think I've taken away during this time of COVID, and that is the importance of pausing to reevaluate, rethink, and reimagine what our role is and what possibilities Leadership Toledo has. We've been given a chance to stop and say, okay, so now what? What changes for us? How does the current state of our world affect what part this organization plays in our community? And interestingly, what we've discovered is that the role that we play hasn't changed, but in reality, it's just become even more important. More than ever, we need confident and compassionate leaders who aren't afraid to raise their hand and take time to understand the needs that have been put before them. Communities are relying on individuals such as yourselves to help lift them up during the difficult times. We need people who can dig into their passions as well as their skills and find the intersection of those two and find out how that can create meaningful change. Because of the circumstances that we're facing, we've had the ability to get a little creative and try some new things. So we launched back in the beginning of September a virtual community leadership series that is open to anyone interested at no cost, thanks to the generosity of First Energy Foundation. We've had 3 sessions so far with over 250 people registered for each one. Shameless plug, our next session is with Leadership Toledo alum Craig Teamer from the Toledo-Lucas County Port Authority next Thursday, October 15th. These are held over the lunchtime hour, so it's really easy just to plug in and learn more about and learn more from some of the community leaders that we have. So we have 6 more sessions between now and December. We have wanted to find a way to connect with more individuals, and this is providing us that avenue. And for that, we are grateful. We are grateful that while things look and feel a little different with our youth programs, we can still connect with them in person because we know how important that is to their emotional and social development. Our message to them has not changed. They are the young leaders of today, and their voice matters now. In fact, more than matters, we need to hear it because what they have to say is very important. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing a young woman who is a Youth Leadership Toledo alum, a Leadership Toledo board member, and a Yippie participant. Mackenzie Blackburn is a junior at Toledo School for the Arts, and we are so lucky to have her energy, positivity, and leadership in our community. So Mackenzie, I'm going to ask you to flip your camera on, and you are going to tell us a little bit about your Leadership Toledo experience.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anna. Hi, everyone. Yes, thank you for the introduction. It was amazing. And so for my Wild Tea experience, I know it was a fantastic experience. Whenever you go to a Wild Tea session, there's always this like positive and supportive vibe. And when we start each day, we start with a check-in. So we're basically checking in on like how you're feeling that day and why you're feeling that way. So if you're stressed because you know that there's a lot of schoolwork that you have to do right when you leave the session, you can say that. And if you're just like really tired because you stayed up late last night, then you can say that as well. And if you're excited, then you can say that too. Just explain why, just so each of us kind of gets to know each other. And what's great is that throughout these sessions, we do get to know each other a lot really well. And that's because there's about like 50 people there. And so throughout the session, we kind of switch tables up and we talk to new people that maybe we don't really know that much of before because we haven't really hung out with them at the session. So we kind of get to know everyone, which is really great. And what's awesome with these sessions is that we actually really dive deep into leadership and what being a leader is, and kind of into ourselves as well. Because I remember one session that we did was talking about how everyone has a core. And from our core stems our beliefs, and then from our beliefs, then we make our assumptions, and from our assumptions is our behavior. And so from those sessions, we learn a lot about ourselves and how our different traits, personalities, values and beliefs and how they all vary really shapes how each of us are as a leader. And also from those sessions, we actually get keynote speakers who talk about their service in the community and why it's so important for us to be servant leaders and really act in our community. And from that, we also have a lot of very fun activities that we do throughout the sessions. I remember one activity we did on our retreat was we had to stand in a circle and hold hands, and there was a hula hoop that they put over one person. And then we kind of had like nudge our bodies in order to get that hula hoop all the way around the circle. And also one session or one little activity that Nikki did for all of us was brown squirrel. And it was a very fun and energetic activity that we all did. So that was really great. And also to go off of that service that we have to do, we were all tasked with a project that we had to do at the beginning of the year. And it was a project that would kind of help tackle some of the issues that our community was facing, such as immigration, health, and the environment were a couple of them. And so I joined the environment group. And so for our project, we were tasked to do this really big park cleanup that we asked Metro Parks if they needed help with. And so this big park cleanup was, we're going to have about 80 people, and we're going to clean up this area that used to be like a trash dump actually, and make way for the Manhattan Marsh Preserve. And it was going to be this really big project, and we got it all ready, but sadly, due to COVID, we weren't able to follow through. And so, but even then, we still gained a lot of experience from that. I know my group really gained a lot of organizational and communication skills from being able to schedule our meetings, and also from that, being able to problem solve and figure out what our plans are going to be. And then I know I also developed my communication skills as well, because I was the key contact from my group to Metro Parks. And I know I've grown a whole lot from Wild Tea to where I am now, because at the beginning of Wild Tea, I had a lot of self-doubt in myself and my ability to lead as a leader. But from Wild Tea, I know I kind of said this earlier, but just like the supportive vibe that everyone has, because I know from our check-ins, we're able to stand up and talk about any accomplishments we had. Like if that's like getting your temps or even doing a play, everyone just claps and congratulates you. So it's a really great vibe. And also from then, Wild Tea has this continual notion that you need to own who you are as a person in order to really lead, because knowing who you are and being confident in yourself really is key to being a great leader, because you need to own your own personalities and your own uniqueness in order to really go out and help others shine and also show theirs too. So that even though I still have some of those doubts today, Leadership Toledo has helped me a lot in being confident in myself and my ability to help serve and lead in my community as a leader. And so I'm so thankful and grateful for all the team leaders, Anna, Nikki, Elizabeth, and Danielle. They're all so amazing and fun and very supportive there. And just for the Leadership Toledo board, the staff, the trustees, and our donors, just for giving me and so many other sophomores, and just in Yippee and on the board too for the youth there, just this amazing opportunity to lead in our community. And also, I'm just shouting out for any youth who's on this call that if you can, just to please, please, please reach out and see how you can lead in the community. And if you're able to please donate, because I know that this experience that I got, I'm definitely going to use throughout my life. So thank you so much.
I was muted. Oh my gosh, this is why my job is so great. This is why we're so lucky at Leadership Toledo to engage with students like Mackenzie. So Mackenzie, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We are in uncertain times. There is no doubt about it, but we are a strong community who understands that leadership matters, and we are up for tackling the difficult times ahead. I next want to share with you a video that was put together for us by Flanders Creative. And it's about 6 minutes. So if you give us a little bit of your time and then a few comments after, and we will make sure that we wrap up so that you can get on with your day, hopefully feeling inspired. So we are ready for that video.
Life is anything but normal right now. We are at a crucial point in history that will never be forgotten and likely discussed for years to come. Communities are struggling to make sense of how to move forward and where to look for answers.
There are a lot of things that go into making up a strong community. I think one of the most important is the ability to maintain perspective. Leadership Toledo does a nice job at giving you a good cross-section of everything that's happening in your community. I thought I knew Toledo well, and I've lived in this community for a long time, and I love it, and I've been engaged for a long time. But being able to connect with different people that have had different experiences opens your eyes up in a different way and allows you to engage in a new way, which is good for the growth of all the members, but yourself as well.
Working with the Leadership Toledo group was an amazing experience. It was wonderful to just reach out into the community and understand what great young leaders we have. They were so enthusiastic and so inspired by the project, and were really wanting to help make it be successful. And so they delivered a product, for lack of a better word, that is just going to really support what it is that we're trying to do with that project.
Whenever you're in times of uncertainty, I think it's important to be able to ask critical questions. And I think Leadership Toledo does a very nice job at helping its participants ask those critical questions. Why is Toledo the way that it is? How did we get to this point? Where do we want it to go? Leadership Toledo is important now more than ever because it helps participants think critically about situations and adapt more easily.
At Leadership Toledo, we take pride in inspiring community involvement and helping individuals recognize all that our area has to offer. We understand that there are opportunities and challenges, but there are opportunities for growth, opportunities for change, opportunities for individuals to step up and find service that is meaningful to them.
You know, Leadership Toledo really opened my eyes to the different avenues in which we could serve our community. I think I used to really use sports as a platform, how to give back to a community. And once I went through the Leadership Toledo class, I saw that there were just so much more need in the community. And what I used to be very hesitant about was feeling like I belonged. And when I went through the Leadership Toledo class, I really had that sense of belonging, and it made me more comfortable serving in other capacities. So during this pandemic, it's definitely been uncertain times for everyone. So I believe in positionality and how fortunate I've been. So Leadership Toledo and Youth Leadership Toledo definitely has provided a blueprint. Anytime you want to create something new, the old saying, this is how we've always done it, it's definitely not pushing any organization forward.
More than ever, we need strong leadership. We need leaders who understand that we are a resilient community, and no matter what is thrown at us, we will come out stronger on the other side. As a catalyst, Leadership Toledo cultivates leaders of all ages and cultures by connecting them to people, knowledge, experiences, and opportunities, instilling in them the importance of asking questions and stepping out of their comfort zone, especially during times of uncertainty.
Our youth are our leaders now. A lot of times we talk about youth being leaders in 10 years or 15 years, but they have so much energy and so many ideas, and it's so important that we bring them and their ideas and their energy and their lack of cynicism. It's important that we bring them to the table and that they are able to have an outlet to share those things.
I think throughout my experience with Leadership Toledo, I've been introduced to all sorts of kids who are going out and making a difference, and that really encouraged me to explore the issues I was interested in and try and be an advocate for those who need it.
Throughout the program, I've learned to become a more confident leader, and by being a more confident leader, I was able to go out into my community and serve and help others, and even learn some stuff from the people that I was volunteering for.
I think youth engagement in the community is really important because not only does it build character and give you real life experience, but it benefits all the people around you, and I think it gives everyone a sense of this is what the world is supposed to look like, and here's all the ways I can make a difference.
When a leader shows up authentically and wholeheartedly and with vulnerability, we know that we're going to have better results. We know that we're going to have a greater impact in whatever community that is. And so during these uncertain times, it's important that our leaders show up that way, show up wholehearted as a whole person, so that they can hear everyone's ideas and we can find the best solution through community engagement and involvement.
Our community needs leaders. We need leaders who are authentic, who we can trust, who are compassionate, and who provide hope.
What makes a strong community, especially the Toledo community, is our diversity. It's the fact that every single one of us brings something different to the table. Community involvement is so important to me because Toledo raised me. I'm from this community. And when I think about all the many things that this community has given to me, that's why I want to give back, and that's why I choose to use my free time to serve my community. And when we think about just the changing times, I realize that Leadership Toledo is important because, again, the skills that we're learning are going to help impact policy, and they're going to help change conversations that happen in boardrooms, in courtrooms, and also at our dinner tables. And the skills that we're learning now through organizations like Leadership Toledo are forcing us to think critically about what could be different in our country. What are the questions that we have for how we believe that things can be changed, and how do we address those?
Leadership Toledo will continue to challenge individuals to dig deep inside themselves and find meaningful ways to make a difference. We cannot do it alone. Your community needs you. Please help us to continue our mission to lead, connect, grow, and serve to make Toledo a stronger community by making a donation today.
We are in a really unique year and we won't ever forget it. And I guess my ask to you today is, how can you play a part in what our community needs right now? How can you help these individuals, such as yourself, such as Mackenzie, such as her classmates? How can you help them develop those skills so that they can make an impact and realize the potential that they have? In the chat box, you'll see that we have put a pledge card there. So any donation that you can make to support the work that Leadership Toledo does is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time today, and know that Leadership Toledo will continue to tirelessly work to make sure that we are inspiring community involvement and helping people recognize all that our area has to offer. I also want to encourage you to check out the Community Leadership Series. You can access that lineup at leadershiptoledo.org/community leadership series. And if you have any questions or anything that Leadership Toledo can do for you, please do not hesitate to reach out. Again, I thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the beautiful weather that we're going to have today. And I hope you leave this morning feeling inspired. Thank you.